It was the best-selling vehicle of any type in the world for 2023, 2024, and maybe even 2025. Hi, this is Joe from Scarff, Ford and Isuzu. Today we're talking about this 2023 Model Y performance. Yes, it's true, the Model Y, believe it or not, has been the best-selling vehicle in the world. Not best-selling EV, but best-selling vehicle in the world for 2023 and 2024 for very good reason. It's very efficient, low ownership costs, amazing technology, amazing safety. It has a ton of space, a lot more space than a comparable gas-powered compact crossover. The reasons go on and on. And don't worry, if you're not a fan of Elon, there's plenty of bumper stickers that you can get. I saw one today, Anti-Elon Tesla Club, or I bought this for dog mode. Or another one I saw, I bought this one before Elon went crazy. All joking aside, I'm a big fan of Teslas. I have a Tesla Model 3. I like gas vehicles too. I own a Ford, but I daily commute in a Tesla Model 3 for the last 3 years. No one gives me a hard time. No one gives me the finger. And you can kind of see that the news cycle has moved on. So those of you that are worrying about being ostracized, made fun of, harassed for driving a Tesla, I don't think it's going to happen. There are millions of Teslas on the road. It's not going to change anytime soon. The only caveat is maybe if you have a Cybertruck, if you're driving a Cybertruck, those are a little bit more polarizing. It's almost like a MAGA hat on four wheels, which is probably a positive for some, a negative for others. And also remember, Elon isn't Tesla. Tesla has over 140,000 people that work for him, amazing engineers, designers, and they created these amazing products that are unlike any other vehicle on the road. And kind of like rock stars and celebrities, we like them for what they give us. Great movies, great music, great acting. And that's kind of the case for Elon. He's not a politician, he's an engineer. He makes amazing products. He's an amazing visionary. People have told him, you'll never be able to launch reusable rockets. Yet he did. So people have told him, you'll never be able to profitably make electric vehicles. And he did. One of the most profitable car manufacturers in the world. Despite what your political beliefs are, I don't get into political beliefs in videos, leave that aside. We talk about great products, great cars, great engineering, which this one has in spades. And I can be a little bit long-winded in my walk-around videos in these Teslas just because they're so different than any other vehicle on the road. It's like a supercomputer on wheels, pretty much. You don't believe me? Just watch a little bit longer and I'll prove it to you. So the Model Y has a clean sheet design like many other Tesla products. It's not overly cluttered by buttons and knobs. You have this huge display screen, which is the core of the product for accessing and changing vehicle settings. There's also a lot of voice commands. You don't have to swipe through the screen while you're driving to make adjustments. You can keep your eyes on the road and pay attention, and you can do voice commands like this. Wipers on. Wipers on 1. Wipers off. Rear defroster on. Make it warmer. Make it cooler. Open butthole. Close butthole. Okay, some of the stuff can be silly, but some of the stuff is really helpful. Nice, comfortable, highly supportive seats. Huge glass roof panels allow lots of natural light inside. There are aftermarket and sunshades you get from Tesla that fold and stow nicely and fold out and insert in place to cut down on the sun's energy on those hot summer days. So this huge display screens. You can also subscribe to premium connectivity for $10 a month. That will give you live Google Maps with live traffic updates. You can stream music right to the car. You don't need your phone. You can stream video. Obviously, it needs us to sign up with premium connectivity. You can watch, Netflix, Hulu, Disney, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. Can't do it while you're driving. You have to do it while you're parked. But if you're supercharging, maybe your spouse is in the store and you're waiting for them. You need to entertain the kids while they're waiting in the car for whatever reason. This thing is fantastic. You have the arcade where you can play video games. Some of the video games, like the driving games, you can actually use a steering wheel, brake, and accelerator to drive the games. You can also get like an Xbox style controller, as you can see there, to play some of the games. Pretty cool stuff. Then we have the Toybox. You can have the car play a light show. We have the silly things like the phare. You can. We have a colorizer, so you can change the color of the vehicle's avatar. So if you wrap your car, you can have your car match the wrap. You pretty much have the whole spectrum of colors. You can do metallic. You can do matte colors. Pretty cool stuff. You have a boom box, so you can talk through the horn. You can play music through the horn. You can make the horn sound like a fart or an old-fashioned horn. You have a multi-track recorder, so if you want to cut an album in here, you can do that. There's romance mode, sketchpad, Mars, Santa, Rainbow Road. Some of the things are silly, some of the things are actually really helpful. So this is a Model Y Performance. The Model Y Performance has a red line under the dual motor. You also notice it has a larger wheel and tire package, red brakes, a little bit lower performance suspension. So the Model Y Performance basically has another 100 horsepower versus the regular version of the Model Y. 0 to 60 is about 3.5 seconds, top speed's 160 miles an hour. This thing probably makes close to about 500 horsepower. All electric horsepower, no revving the engine, no downshifting in the right gear. You have just instantaneous thrust as soon as you hit the accelerator. It's unlike any gas car you've driven. It's addicting, and you can put a lot of purpose-built sports cars to shame in your crossover SUV. We have Autopilot, which is traffic-aware cruise control, which allows the vehicle to brake and accelerate in its own lane. I call it kind of like full self-driving light. As long as there are lines in the road, you can use this on the highway. You can also use it kind of like on country back roads. Just as long as there's lines in the road, the vehicle will flow the lines in the road. It'll flow of turns. It's not going to take hairpin turns in Autopilot, but it'll flow really nicely. It'll move the flow of traffic all the way down to a complete stop. It won't stop for stop signs. It won't stop for red lights. You have to be attentive and you have to disengage the system. I mean, if a car stops in front of you at a red light, that's fine. But if you're the only one, it's not going to stop. But you can get a lot of mileage out of the Autopilot, especially in stop and go traffic or long, scenic drives on sparse roads where there aren't a lot of traffic lights. It's nice. There's a whole weight lifted off of your shoulders when using the Autopilot. Full self-driving is also available for $99 a month or $8,000. I have full self-driving in my car. It works great now. It's still supervised, so there's a camera here and it requires you to pay attention, but it's now hands-free. I keep my hands on my lap. I have about a 12-mile commute each way, and I hardly ever touch the steering wheel now. It wasn't the case 3 years ago, but the system keeps on getting updated and it gets better and better. The car gets updated and gets better and better. Tesla has over-the-air updates. They were one of the first companies to start doing over-the-air updates in cars back in 2012 when they came out with the Model S. A lot of people have followed suit, but they lead. Tesla's not just an auto manufacturer. They are also a tech company. There is so much technology. There's so much synergy, not just with the vehicle, but also with a smartphone app, the way it connects with the car. I haven't seen anything like it from anyone else. And it's kind of like, going to a smartphone from your old flip phone. Once you do it and you experience it, sometimes it's hard to go back. One thing I love about the app is that you can precondition the vehicle. You can preheat the vehicle. Like as soon as I get out of the shower in the morning, on a cold morning, I can heat the car up, heat the battery up in the car so it's more efficient while it's driving. If it's icy out, it'll defrost the car. So I get in and it's all warmed up for me. And you can also do scheduled departures. So if you leave for work and you commute home at the same time every day, you can program the car so automatically at 6 a.m. start heating up. At 6 p.m. when you're about to get off work, the car will start warming up and preconditioning itself. Pretty amazing stuff. You can use your phone as a key. You can start the phone with the car. You can pull up remote cameras. While it's parked, you can pull up remote camera views. It also has a Sentry mode, so it's constantly recording around you while it's driving and it's parked. Here's a video of someone's car that got hit. It was a hit and run right next to my car while I was parked having sushi. When I was going back to my car, this guy comes out of T-Mobile who works there and he says, "Someone hit my car. I noticed you have a Tesla. Can you see if they recorded it?" I wasn't sure, but lo and behold, as you can see, it recorded the hit and run, and that person was very grateful. Here's another video of someone getting rear-ended in their Tesla. One of my old co-workers, There's no arguing with insurance companies whose fault it is when you have video of it. And this has cameras all around it. It's constantly paying attention, recording video. Here's another video of someone running a school bus stop sign. That's certainly not cool. And that's a little bit of a grainy version that I just got directly off my phone. I could go into the vehicle's hard drive and get a more high resolution version of that video. I can go on and on. See, this is why these Tesla videos go for 20 minutes, because there's just so much stuff to talk about. And here's another example of the amazingness of these products. This is service mode. I don't recommend you going in here or messing around with stuff. I mean, you could potentially look in here, but don't change any settings. You can mess up the vehicle. But this is basically the back-end diagnostic tools that Tesla techs work on when they're repairing your vehicle or diagnosing issues. Some people have to have external, like snap-on diagnostic computers. This car is a rolling diagnostic computer. Like I said, this thing's like a smartphone, or you could even call it a supercomputer on wheels. There are all the speakers in the vehicle. You can use this to test the audio system, see if there's blown speakers. This is the connectivity. This has a Wi-Fi. This has Wi-Fi. Also has a cell phone transponder to receive data. Here's some information on the last ECU update. This is your high voltage system. This is a high voltage battery. This uses a lithium-ion battery technology. I think this shows power distribution through the electrical system. These are your drive units, your electric motors, basically the engines. It's like having two engines, two electric motors. That's why this thing's so fast. Here, this shows power distribution. The refrigerant system. This has an amazing thermal management system to keep the battery at a happy temperature. Also extends the life of the batteries. Amazing cooling system. This has a heat pump, an octo valve heat pump, which is a automotive masterpiece, engineering masterpiece in its own right. This octo valve heat pump is very efficient, and it makes this so much more. It makes it so much more efficient in colder weather when it gets below zero. EVs without heat pumps, they take bigger range hits, bigger range issues. In cold weathers, EVs can lose a lot of range, but the heat pumps do a great job at mitigating that. Information on the alignment, TPMS system, steering, the braking system. I can go on and on. Really nice color combination in this graphite gray on the premium black interior. The Model Y Performance has a more aggressive wheel and tire package. It has a little bit lower of a suspension for a lower center of gravity for better handling. You also have these larger red brakes. Love the front end styling. It's kind of that minimalist wedge shape, but it really has grown on me. I love the way these things look. Great projector headlights for outstanding nighttime visibility. Since there's no engine up here, we have a frunk, which is more storage. It's also a safety feature. You have all this space to absorb crash energy in a frontal collision. You have a crumple zone that's 60% larger than a car with an engine in the front. In fact, the Model Y is one of the safest crossover SUVs that you can buy. One of the lowest rollover risks. The weight of the batteries being so low in the vehicle, it's like a keel, it's like an anchor keeping this thing planted to the ground. So even if it does roll over or tries to roll over, the weight of the battery is going to keep it planted on the ground. Nice spacious interior. You can see I have a ton of headroom. You have a lot more interior space in this car, in this crossover SUV, than you do a comparable gas-powered SUV. There's no drive shafts, no exhaust system, no gas tanks going through the vehicle. Electric vehicles are actually very simple compared to an internal combustion engine powered car. An internal combustion engine has thousands of moving parts, and guess what? Cars are more complex than ever. You have gas engines combined with hybrid systems, turbocharging, supercharging. All these car manufacturers are doing everything they can to eke out the best performance and fuel efficiency out of their gas engines, which I think is a fleeting fleeting task. My experience with EVs, how reliable they are, how simple they are, just makes so much more sense. Tesla has an amazing supercharging network. You can drive pretty much anywhere in the United States and fast charge. It has a trip planner, so you can plan your trip. The car will tell you if you have enough range to make it, and it'll plan your whole trip, tell you where to charge for, how long to charge for, if you can't make it in one charge. You can drive almost anywhere in the US in any Tesla with this amazing charging network. And an EV is very simple. It has dozens of moving parts, not thousands. It's like owning an appliance. There's no oil changes, no big coolant flushes, no exhaust systems or emissions control systems that go bad, no catalytic converters for people to steal. We have a lot of storage space in the back. We have this nice cargo area cover. It folds and stows and removes really easily. You could fold down those rear seats. And we have even more storage under here. Normally we'd have a gas tank or an exhaust system, but since this is an EV, we have more storage. There's also additional storage on both sides here. And on this side as well. Storage galore. And with regenerative braking, that will save you on brake life. The magical thing of electric motors is that you can reverse the polarity of electric motors and turn them into generators. So normally all that heat you'd lose through regular braking, you can take that kinetic energy and put it back in the battery by turning the electric motors into generators when you slow down. So a lot of times the car is actually using the electric motors to slow the vehicles down versus the actual brakes. You can one pedal drive this, and this will drive all the way down to a complete stop just by modulating the throttle, not touching the brake. So the good news is that since you're not using the actual brakes as much, the brakes can last a very long time, 150,000 miles. You also have extremely low maintenance costs because there's not a lot of maintenance to do on these things, as I said. Pretty much, tires, rotate tires, wiper blades, cabin filter. You wouldn't compare, the cost of ownership of a vehicle like this of a Toyota Corolla or Camry, which the ownership costs are probably on par for, or maybe a little bit lower. You'd compare this like a BMW X3M or a Porsche Macan S. All premium luxury vehicles that require complex, expensive dealer maintenance and have complex, high-performance engines and braking systems that need maintenance and repairs and can be very expensive. Since Tesla's a vertically integrated company, you also save money on service and parts when you actually have to pay for it. They don't have a dealer network. They don't have parts middlemen and parts suppliers. Since they're a vertically integrated company, you're dealing directly with the manufacturer, not a franchise. So it's not people making money on top of money on top of money. So in my experience, and I've bought and sold hundreds of Teslas over the last 5 or 6 years, repairs, sometimes to me, in my opinion, especially compared to like a high-line luxury dealership, are half the cost, if not cheaper, thanks to that vertical integration. They're not trying to gouge their customers. A great example of this, I know these videos can run long, but for instance, we had a Kia Niro EV that the infotainment screen went bad. And it didn't have a fancy infotainment screen like this. It had a little itty bitty one that looked like it could have been in a car from 15 years ago. And Kias are supposed to be affordable vehicles, but guess what? The service department wanted $4 grand to replace that little infotainment screen. They're like, are you kidding me? And we're supposed to be getting a deal because we're a dealership. We're supposed to get wholesale pricing. We had a cracked screen in a Tesla, and when the screen's cracked, they have to replace the whole screen. That was like $1,200, $1,400, still a lot of money, but this is a really nice screen. This is like a big iPad, not a little itty bitty, 15-year-old looking infotainment screen. So that just goes to show you, I feel like if this was a screen on like a BMW or Mercedes, it'd be $5,000, $6,000 to replace, who knows? So yes, amazing product. If you're thinking about getting a Tesla, there's no time better than ever. With so many of millions of Teslas on the road and the Model Y being the best-selling car in the world, there are so many pre-owned ones. So you can find really nice examples of Model Ys for the $30,000 price range, a little bit higher, a little bit lower, depending on the year and miles. And this is a fantastic automobile at that price point. The $30,000 price point these days, that's pretty much, to find a decent used car, not a fancy, bougie, expensive used car, just a decent, commuter vehicle, you're gonna have to spend, generally well over $20,000, right around $30,000. So for a lot of people, this is perfectly in the sweet spot. It's a great vehicle. Thanks for watching and have a great day and hope to see you soon.